Is this why you want to leave, Miles? Mom asked. I mulled over for a minute, careful not to look at her. No, I said. Well, why then? This was not the first time she had posed this question. My mom was not particularly keen on letting me go to boarding school and had made no secret of it. Because of me, my dad asked. He had attended Clover Creek, the same boarding school to which I was headed, as had both of his brothers and all of their kids. I think he liked the idea of me following in his footsteps. My uncles told me their stories of how famous my dad had been on campus for having simultaneously raised hell and aced all of his classes. That sounded like a better life than the one I had in Florida. But no, it wasn't because of my dad. Not exactly. Hold on, I said. I went into Dad's study and found his biography of Francis Rabelais. I don't know, I'm very bad at pronouncing foreign names, and there's a lot in this book, so don't mind me. I liked reading biographies of writers, even if I had never read any of their actual writing. I flipped to the back and found the highlighted quote. My dad had never used a highlighter in my books. My dad had told me 1,000 times, but how else are you supposed to find exactly what you're looking for? So this guy said, standing in the doorway of the living room, Francis Rabelais. He was a poet, and his last words were, I go see a great perhaps. That's where I'm going. So I don't have to wait until I die to start seeking the great perhaps. As I quieted them, I was after a great perhaps. They knew as well as I did that I wasn't going to find it with all the likes of Will and Marie. I sat back down on the couch between my mom and dad, and my dad put his arm around me, and we stayed there like that, quiet on the couch together for a long time until it seemed okay to turn on the TV. And then we ate artichoke dip for dinner and watched the History Channel. And as going away parties go, it certainly could have been worse. Days before. Florida was plenty hot. Certainly, and humid too. Hot enough that your clothes stuck to you like scotch tape, and sweat dripped like tears from your forehead into your eyes. But it was only hot outside, and generally, I only went outside to walk from one air-conditioned location to another. This did not prepare me for the unique sort of heat that one encounters 15 miles south of Birmingham, Alabama, at Culver Creek Preparatory School. My parents' SUV was parked in the grass just a few feet outside of my dorm room 43. But each time I took a few steps to or from the car to unload what now seemed like far too much stuff. The sun burned through my clothes and into my skin with vicious ferocity and made me genuinely fear secret parties, streaking through hayfields. He only whined about how it was all boys back then, drugs, drinking, and cigarettes. It had taken him a while to kick smoking, but his badass days were now well behind him. I love you, they both blurted out simultaneously. It needed to be said, but the words made the whole thing horribly uncomfortable, like watching your grandparents kiss. I love you too. I'll call every Sunday. Our rooms had no phone lines, but my parents had requested I be placed in a room near one of Culver Creek's 5 payphones. They hugged me again, Mom, then Dad, and it was over. Out the back window, I watched them drive away, onto the winding road off of campus. I should have felt a gooey, sentimental sadness perhaps, but mostly I just wanted to cool off, so I grabbed one of the desk chairs and sat down outside my door in the shade of the overhanging eaves, waiting for a breeze that never arrived. The air outside sat as still and oppressive as the air inside. I stared out over my new digs. 6 one-story buildings, each with 16 dorm rooms, were arranged in a hexagon around a large circle of grass. It looked like an oversized old motel. Everywhere, boys and girls hugged and smiled and walked up to each other. I vaguely hoped that someone would come up and talk to me. I imagined the conversation. Hey, is this your first year? Yeah, I'm from Florida. That's cool. So you're used to the heat. I wouldn't be used to this heat if I were from Hades, I'd joke. I'd make a good first impression. Oh, he's funny. That guy Miles is a riot. That didn't happen, of course. Things never happen like how I imagined them. Bored, I went back inside, took off my t-shirt to lay down on the heat-soaked vinyl of the lower bunk mattress and closed my eyes. I had never